Hello everybody and welcome to the Season 2 Meta Tier List review at the beginning of this season. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to try to keep this as positive as possible. But I personally do not like this meta right now, and I really hope something changes. All of that aside, we'll discuss that at the end of the video after we're done with the tier list. But I do want to just put in the S tier what is meta right now in terms of my scrim experience as well as my light ladder experience. I haven't played a lot just because I really am not loving it right now. But let's get into this. We got Doomfist is definitely one of the strongest tanks, at least in scrims right now, alongside Akiriko and Lucio. And then to top it all off, you guessed it, it's still Sojourn and Tracer. And we could talk about this extensively as we progress through the video, but the thing is that, yeah, sure, you nerfed Sojourn's one-shot potential, but you also buffed her primary fire. So it really didn't make that much of a difference, and 195 is still pretty much a headshot, alongside what we find in A tier to be Roadhog as well as Mercy, that with a damage boost really makes that breakpoint of hitting the headshot as Sojourn, it's just as it was before. The headshot will still one-shot when playing with a Sojourn, and I just think that's not good for the game. And let's just look through all these other characters before we really dive into that. In terms of like what I think is good, what I think is bad, and yeah, let's get right into this. Bastion being the first one, I think Bastion's okay, just with the Roadhog pick that you're going to see a lot in ranked. But I don't think he's as strong as he was before, because he definitely hard counters Winston a lot harder than he does the tanks that I'm seeing at the top right now. And I don't think he's quite bad. I think he's high C tier, low B tier. Cassidy, moving on to him, I think I'm going to put him C for Cassidy. I just think that he gets outclassed by other hit scans that are in the game right now. That being Sojourn, and then after that, let's just jump to Ashe, is also going to be very strong after Sojourn finally gets nerfed like she should, to a point where she's not as broken as she is. And to be honest, I don't know how long it's going to take. It's just something that this game desperately needs, and we're going to again, we could talk about that after. Diva's a hard one for me. I kind of want to put her in C tier, just because I don't think she really does well against what is good right now. I think she's going to get hooked off cooldown. I think her defense matrix, sure, you could stop hooks, and maybe you could stop Sojourn from being so oppressive, but I think it's just better on Doomfist anyways for how overtuned he is now. But I don't know if that needs too much more explanation other than that. Genji's also... okay, I have a hard time putting Genji anywhere, just because he could be good against diving Sojourn, but it's like Tracer just does the job better. And do I really put him over Bastion? I think I put him high C tier, honestly. If I'm going to put Bastion low B tier, I mean, it's either I put him low B tier or I put him high C tier. I think I'm going to put him high C tier. I think every other DPS just struggles other than Sojourn, Tracer, and Ashe. Maybe you could put Pharah and Echo up there too, but even then, it's like there's not really a whole lot of good options. It's just weird right now. It's just a very weird meta right now. And Hanzo, is no exception. With his bug right now, he's almost near unplayable, but if he wasn't in a bugged state with his storm arrows blocking the camera, I think he's maybe a little bit better than Cassidy, maybe a little bit better than Genji, to where I put him below B tier. But even then, I don't know if I could. I think high C tier is probably the way to put it. Just because I don't think he's... Why would you play Hanzo over Sojourn? Like, or Ashe? I guess on Circuit Royale you could probably do it, but other than that, if that's the only map we're going to talk about here, I think he just deserves the C tier spot. Not quite the D tier. I know Junkrat people have been complaining about a lot. I think he's strong. I think he's in a B tier spot for ladder. And in terms of team play, it's kind of the same thing. If you have a cracked Junkrat player, I think he's going to be able to work. More so than other DPS right now, just because he can just one-shot double combo people from across the map. Not across the map, but from pretty far range for Junkrat, all things considered. I think he's strong. I don't think he's A tier. Do I think he needs a nerf? No. I think the game just needs to change. I don't know. He probably does need a little bit of an adjustment, but I don't know. It would probably just be within his mind damage. But I'm not quite sure what you would do to Junkrat, and he's not really the most pressing thing that you have to really worry about right now. That being said, now we're getting into the territory of the characters that I think are just near unplayable. May's going to have to be one of them. I don't think May's very strong right now. She has a very hard time closing the distance against all of the best characters in the game right now. Until the game goes back into a more brawl versus brawl scenario, in terms of a more... I shouldn't say that. I should say in a more conventional brawl versus brawl scenario where it's not as crazy with hybrid compositions and weird DPS. I think then you could possibly argue that she would be decent, but I just think right now she really struggles in terms of rank, in terms of team play. Pharah, I guess, could kind of fall into the same scenario just because Sojourn and Tracer is so strong, as well as Ashe. But because Mercy is good, I might have to say that Pharah is a little bit better than D tier. And honestly, I was thinking about putting her bottom B tier for a lot of lower ranks. I think she performs better. And you know what? I'm going to die on the hill here. I'm going to put her above Genji. I think because Mercy is so strong with Sojourn, comboing a Pharah in there isn't the end of the world. In terms of ranked. In team play, I'm never going to see this. In terms of ranked, I could see Pharah being at least decent, I think. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I have been running into a lot more Pharahs recently. I think that's literally just because of you get so much more value out of Mercy then. Your Mercy has so many other options to fly back and forth to. I think it's decent. Moving on to the next pick, Reaper is a hard one. Reaper for me is a really hard one because I think Reaper was strong before with the Winston. I don't know how that fares up now because I've just been seeing so much Hog and Doomfist. I think he's still B tier. I think he's still decent. I just don't think he's quite A tier. I think he's just consistent, and it's kind of like that Junkrat pick. I don't think they're quite meta, but they're consistent. If you're good at Reaper, go for it. I think Tracer's better. I think Tracer can kind of shut down a Reaper better if the Tracer is a better player. Or if the Tracer is a strong player. I think it's more difficult to pull off, but Reaper's the consistent option that can really take down a Roadhog if the Roadhog's getting a little bit too aggressive. I wouldn't say take down completely, but at least keep him in check. Sorry, not Roadhog. Reinhardt's probably one of the worst tanks in the game right now. I gotta be honest with y'all. I just don't think Reinhardt's great. He doesn't close the distance very well against the Hog and the Doomfist. He doesn't have that off tank he had in Overwatch 1. He's really struggling right now. And that's just that. That's a wrap for Reinhardt. The thing is with now Soldier 76 is I just think that he doesn't really have anything to his name. He can flank really hard in this meta, which I guess is okay. It makes me not want to put him quite D tier. But it's like, again, why would you play Soldier if you could just play Sojourn? And if you really suck at Sojourn, just play Ashe. That's just how the hit scan differential is going to be this whole time. Symmetra is kind of going to be that same thing with Mei. I think she's very situational, where she's probably the best in D tier. But with what is strong right now, there's no real way for Symmetra to get level 3 beams safely. In terms of getting her beam ramped up to the max level and really just getting in there and completely microwaving the enemy, I just don't think she's there right now. I think she needs more love. I don't know. You know, I don't even think she needs to change. I just think the game needs to change, and she's just a niche character as is. And that's what I'm going to end off with Symmetra. Torbjorn, I think, is honestly a sleeper pick in B tier. He's kind of like the happy medium between Reaper's damage and Junkrat in terms of like the reason why you pick him. Okay, that makes no sense, but let me explain. I think Torb is consistent. He has that shotgun of Reaper, but he actually, honestly, I might put him up. You know, I'm going to keep it this. I think because of the turret, you can keep bad Tracers in check, and you force the enemy to go through a few more steps to actually kill your team. And I think because of that, Torbjorn's actually pretty strong. Honestly, I might put him above the Reaper just because he kind of counters what is meta right now. Not hard counters to the point where you're going to see it a lot in team play, but enough in ladder that's going to be an IQ check for bad players to be like, okay, you're just playing meta and that's why you're climbing. I'm going to play Torbjorn, and now you have to think through the game. If you don't have the answer, you're going to lose. And I think that's kind of where Torbjorn is right now. Widowmaker, I think, is very situational, just like the Hanzo pick. I'm honestly going to put Pharah at the top of that just because I think she's a little less situational. I think Widow's good on Circuit Royale. I think outside of that, unless you're hitting 5 headshots every single fight, or 6 headshots, 2 for the tank and 1 for everyone else. Unless you're doing that, I don't think she's going to be really, really strong, but there are some players that can just do that, and that's just how it be. Winston is a very hard one for me right now. I don't know where he stands. I'm looking at all these people, and I'm thinking, you know, like, I think Winston could be S tier. But it seems to me like Doomfist kind of filled Winston's niche. And the thing is that Winston kind of played in a brawl playstyle before. I don't know if I could quite put him in C tier, but I think I'm going to put him bottom B tier. I just think Doomfist does it better. I just think he does it better now, and Roadhog counters Winston so hard. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to put it in C tier. I'm going to put it in C tier. Because here's the thing, right? I don't think he's bad. I think Doomfist just does his job better. And Roadhog, who just happens to be another really strong tank against Doomfist right now, is also strong against Winston. So I think Winston, in terms of who he's playing against tank-wise, is the reason why he's bad. I don't think he himself is bad. Honestly, he's probably one of the most balanced characters this game has to offer right now. And that's not even pushing it. I think that's true. I think that's just real. Zarya is probably worse than Reinhardt. She's probably the worst tank right now, to be completely honest. I mean, there's a lot of really bad tanks right now. Just like we said before, Doomfist is so overtuned, and Roadhog just so happens to like be able to take advantage of Doomfist. Zenyatta might be one of the worst supports right now. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying that. He probably is the worst support right now. That's insane. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking maybe Brig is pretty bad right now, but even Brig could probably at least live against the Doomfist. Yeah, wow. That's rough. Am I really about to say that? I think Zenyatta, I don't think he's as D tier as these other characters. I think compared to all the other supports right now, he low-key probably is the worst. He probably is one of the worst characters to be playing right now. I mean, you could argue that Baptiste is pretty bad too, and they kind of get lumped together. But wow, those supports, like, think about it. These supports have been meta in Overwatch 1 for so long, and now they're just not. And that's just, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna actually talk about that. In terms of Ana mains Rejoice, sort of. I think Ana is in an okay state, but it feels more like a C state than it does a B state. So I'm going to put it bottom B. I don't think Ana is crazy good. I still think she really struggles right now. It's just that realistically, compared to the other support options, she struggles the least out of everyone else that we're about to put on this list. I think that Ana is just good against Hog. You can force out Suzu pretty frequently if the enemy Kiriko is not that great. You can sleep Doomfist. But at the end of the day, it's like you're just going to want to run Kiriko Mercy or Kiriko Lucio. You only run Kiriko Ana if your Ana is completely cracked. And that's just something I've seen in my own play that I've had so far. The only reason why I'm playing Ana is because Ana is a crazy comfort character for me. I have like almost 700 hours of just PC time on her. That's not including scrims. If you have that much time on Ana, or you love Ana that much, I think you can make it work. Just understand that she is very weak, and she's just a little bit stronger than the weaker supports right now. Sombra, I cannot put her much higher than C tier. I think she still fills somewhat of a niche where she can just permahack Doomfist if you're really doing nothing on DPS. But I still think she's just a terrible character right now. I think they completely gutted her. People are getting all mad about that, about Sombra in the old patch. I honestly didn't think it was that big of a deal because you never really saw it in team play that much. But I think Sombra's okay. I think she counters Doomfist. And that might be the reason why Hog will probably rise to the meta once people figure out how good Sombra is against Doomfist. But other than that, I think her niche is just there, and that's it. Orisa, I'm going to have to put bottom B tier, I think. I think she's good into Hog, and maybe that triangle still exists. But at this point, I think what's better is just running a Hog against Hog. Because if you run Orisa, then Doomfist is going to get played, and Doomfist is overtuned and is definitely going to beat you as the Orisa. So the triangle isn't as balanced anymore. It's realistically like if you think you're just that good at Doomfist and can beat the Hog, do that. If you don't think you're good enough at Doomfist, play Hog. And just do the Hog mirror and win that. Moira, here's the thing. Kiriko is just a better Moira. Is Moira consistent? Yeah. Can you play Moira in low ranks and get a lot done? Yeah. Does that mean Moira is good? Absolutely not. She has no utility. Kiriko is the same thing as Moira. Swap out some of the raw numbers and put in some utility, and she pretty much plays the damn same. She has the best single target healing the game, Kiriko does. I cannot make a case for Moira. I think the only thing that Moira has is that she doesn't die on cooldown. And then you at least have a support. So if you're looking for the easy route to get some free games in like maybe gold and plat, I think Moira is probably the best option, but it's not going to lead you to any long-term success. And that's just how I'm going to end that. Brig, I'm going to put pretty close to Moira where I think she's okay. Why are you playing Brig? That's my thing. I think you can make Brig work. Holy Shiftkin makes Brig work. Other than that, I don't see it really being great. Wrecking Ball. Oh, God. Wrecking Ball is a weird one. I think Ana Kiriko with Wrecking Ball could be good. Here's the thing. This is a biased pick to put him in B tier. I just like playing with Ball. I've grown fond of playing Ball just because in Overwatch 1, I really enjoyed the ending Ball meta. I just think everyone sucked at it, to be completely honest. I think Ana Kiriko with a Ball Tracer Sombra or a Ball Tracer Sojourn is pretty decent right now. It's definitely the most off meta that you can get because it's utilizing a lot of characters that just aren't great right now. But I still think it's playable. I still think it's a nice curveball to throw in every now and then. Nothing crazy, but just something to think about. Sigma's going to be one of the most situational characters where I think you'd maybe pull him out on a Circuit Royale, and that's about it. So I'm going to lump him in with the Widow and the Hanzo pick right now. Echo, I'm going to honestly put... Man, I might put Echo in the A tier. I think Echo's really strong. No, I can't bring myself to do it. I think Echo's situational. If the Tracer kind of sucks and so does the Sojourn and all they can do is hit like stationary targets, I think you can pull out the Echo. I think she's a little bit overtuned for Overwatch 2, but other characters do keep her in check. So I'm going to say high B tier just because she is consistent. If you want to get good with her, you probably could climb with her. But besides that, I don't really see it happening all that much and being that great. Junker Queen, I think, is a little bit better than the Reinhardt just because I think she functions a little bit better into the Hog and the Doomfist. And last but not least, I know everyone's been waiting on this pick. Where do I think Ramatra's going to be when he finally releases? I don't think he's super great. I also don't think he's super terrible. I think he, at the highest level of play, like the best Ramatra players are probably going to be able to survive and do a little bit more than an Orisa would. So I'm going to put it above the Ball. I think he's low-key. Blizzard might have done really well with this character. This might be the one positive thing I can say. I think Blizzard did a good job with Ramatra where he is right now because he's not too strong, he's not too bad. Now, here's the thing. Now is the time where we're going to talk about what my problem is in a 1-minute summary of what I think the problem is with this meta. Look at what's strong right now. Look how many characters are in A tier. Look how many characters are in S tier. That's 8 characters out of a cast of, I think, almost 36 right now is what it is. I might be wrong in that. 8 out of 36. 8 out of 36. That's not even 25% of your cast is being used right now. That's more like 20%. That is just... There's a problem with Overwatch right now. The problem is, just like Season 10 of Overwatch 1, we had Brigitte. She was introduced. Her meta was extremely stable. It was the GOATS meta. And she never left until they had to fundamentally change the game again. Blizzard is now tasked with the same problem they had before. But instead of one Brig problem, they have 2. They have Sojourn and Kiriko. Because at the fundamental design, Kiriko has utility and the best healing in the game. She cannot be having both. Sojourn has the best mobility, the best kill potential, the best cooldowns, a very strong ultimate. She cannot have everything. They have created characters that are either very strong because all of their abilities are good, or they're very bad because all of their abilities are bad. They're very polarizing characters. It's the same problem of Junker Queen. Blizzard has to figure out a way to make characters like Ramatra, at least from what I see right now, which aren't super strong, but aren't super terrible, and you can make them super strong, but it would still be like, okay, if we wanted to nerf them back to where they were before, you can change an ability and they're not completely useless. Blizzard struggles with that right now. How do we fix this? The way that you fix this is honestly, at this point, you're just going to have to go with the power creep, in my opinion, and just add more supports or just add more tanks. and then you have more things to choose from, and then everything can get balanced from there. I think that's their philosophy. Is that the way to do it? No, honestly, I would probably nerf these characters in very specific ways, but I can make a complete video on what I think in that is, for what that is. Quite frankly, I don't want to focus on the negativity right now. I feel like every other content creator is complaining right now, but I do just want to say what I think their solution is. I predict that their solution is they're just going to add more characters. They're going to go in with that power creep, and they're just going to keep trying to keep things fresh. Because right now, I think they're very lost in terms of their balance, and they don't know where to go. They don't know who to ask. And you know what? Instead of complaining, I think that's just how we have to see what it is. I'm not a big lover of the season right now. Hopefully, within the 5-week balance change, it's good, and I want to come back and play the game a whole lot more. Expect more React, TikTok, coaching content, just funnier stuff on the channel. I do not want to be uploading too much gameplay content, just because I don't want to keep uploading stuff that I think is of no value or is of stuff I don't enjoy playing. So keep that in mind. What do you guys all think of this meta? Are there people in the chat that are having fun? Are there people in the comments having fun? Let me know. I'm very interested to see what you guys all think. Thank you all so much for watching. But until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.